to All In Uncensored with Ryan and Bryon.
Welcome to All In Uncensored with Ryan and Bryon.
Hey guys, we're in episode 11. We've had a streak of 10. We're going to start a new streak of 10. This is number one of the next 10.
Oh man, we've gotten through 10. How excited are you for that?
Excuse me. It's been absolutely amazing. I honestly am really proud that we actually consecutively hit our mark of getting a show out every week through the first 10 episodes. And now we're going to talk a little bit about goals and accountability. That's the title of the episode. So we're going to talk about what our goals are for this show and other goals that we have.
We've set a lot of goals for ourselves in business, in life, and we're going to dive into that today. We're going to talk about what our goals are, both career and personal.
Yep.
And how we're accountable to each other.
Yep. And then how you, our audience, can be accountable for each other and how we can help be accountable for you. And if we all work at this together, it takes a village, man. Yeah. By the way, so for the record, our heat has been out on the second floor during this cold snap. It's today is the 18th of January. But I got to tell you, this podcast studio is hotter than a billy goat's ass in a pepper patch, bro. I think I might sweat it out today.
Oh, man. I was going to take my sweatshirt off, but you know what? We're just going to hotbox it.
Yeah, we're going to hotbox it today, guys.
We're going to start doing some yoga, some hot yoga.
Yeah, hot yoga. That's actually a goal of mine is to do yoga this year.
What's it called?
DDP.
DDP.
Bam. Diamond Dallas Page. Yeah.
What was this? Bam.
That was a diamond cutter. That was his wrestling move. Hopefully I'll learn that in my yoga.
Oh.
So,
Bryon, talk about what goals are.
What goals are. So Ryan and I have been doing a lot of reading on self-improvement, positivity, doing deep dives on self-work, and universally, goals are defined as really goals kind of start out as dreams. And so what goals represent are writing down your dreams into measurable milestones to get to your destination of what your ultimate dream is going to be.
Do goals always have to be something that you know you can attain?
Yes, they have to be attainable.
But what about the BHAG?
But yeah, this is it. So you have to be willing to think big, hairy, audacious goals. Don't be afraid to think big about this stuff. That's one of the things that I've learned in this last year.
And don't be afraid to fall short.
Yeah. And
also don't be afraid if you're exceeding your goals, don't be afraid to adjust them.
Yeah, adjust them higher. So really dreams, everybody, there's a dream in everybody, whatever that is. So don't sell yourself short and give up on your dreams. You have a dream, so start building a vision around that. And what we mean by a vision, you really explained this well to me this morning, really focusing in on your why and your purpose around your dream. That's huge.
Well, one of my goals this year is to read 52 books, and I'm on the way. I read my first one in the first week, and currently I'm reading 3 at the same time. I have one that I read in the morning,
Amazing.
Limitless. I have one that I read at night as I'm going to sleep, and that's called Start With Why. And then I have another audiobook that I'm reading right now, and that is, oh boy.
Isn't it called I Forgot?
I think it might be I Forgot. Maybe we should write that book.
Yeah, we should.
I did forget.
Yeah.
Hold please.
It's okay. We got a lot. We got a lot of stuff rattling around in our heads right now because we got some big.
Good to Great.
Oh, okay. Yes, I've heard of that book.
And one might say, and I've thought about this, that reading 3 books at the same time is not a great idea. I will say that these 3 books really unintentionally have gone hand in hand.
Yeah.
It's I learned something different from each book, and they help me understand the other book while I'm reading all of them at the same time.
That's actually pretty huge, man. It's kind of like, in my experience with coaching, we're working on multiple things at the same time, but ultimately they all sync up together and work together simultaneously.
Yeah.
So I think that's awesome that you're experiencing that. And then talking about dreams and vision, in order to manifest those dreams and your vision, you talked about why, but once you have that why, because there's an emotional connection to that why, you know, for some it may be your family. Your family's your biggest why. I know that is for me. Time is the biggest asset, in my opinion, that any of us have. So it's more than about money and things and that kind of thing. It's about the time that I will be able to have to spend more time with my family and my friends, because that to me is everything.
Well, I read something really interesting in my Start With Why, or I heard it this morning on the way in. And it talked about ask yourself why in everything that you do in life.
That's good.
As you're going through your day, when you're about ready to do something, ask yourself why.
Yeah. Like I'm drinking a gallon of water a day. Why am I doing that? I mean, sometimes it sucks. Like drinking it, and I have like a gallon jug that measures my progress throughout the day. But then you're right. I have to ask myself why. Well, I want to lose weight and I want to get in shape and I want to get rid of my brain fog. And hydration is a big part of that.
One of my best friends in the world, Aaron Amidon, when I first met him, great conversationalist, remembers conversations that he heard with everybody. In fact, when we met at a Young Life dinner, and I didn't remember him a year later. We didn't connect in between that year, and he came up to me and he's like, "Hey Ryan, hey, you know, how's truck driving going? How's your family? How's Jenny?" And I'm really good with names and faces. I didn't know who the hell he was, and I didn't know why he knew all this. But I've talked to him a lot about the question or the word why. Watching him over the years, he's really, really good at asking why. When he's talking to somebody, if they make a statement, his next question will be why. He just digs deep. He also is very good at remembering things. Totally admire that about him. And the word why is huge. It's huge for daily life, and it's huge. It's a huge thing to ask yourself when setting goals.
And not only that, what Ryan and I are finding too, it's a huge thing to ask our clients. So when we can discover our clients why they want to buy a home or why they want to refinance, if we can really dig in and peel back the layers of that onion and get down to the root cause, that helps us be able to better serve them, which is another thing we'll talk about here in a little bit. So once you have your why, you set your goals, because goals represent milestones along the way to your destination of what your dream or vision is for yourself. And so what are some of the personal goals that you and I are talking about in 2024?
For me, some of my personal goals, I already said it, but reading 52 books this year is an absolute goal. I started reading I've read since I was young, but started reading books consistently at the end of last year, and it's really helped me. It's helped me visualize what exactly I want. It's helped me wake up early in the morning. Some of my personal goals are, the morning miracle.
Yeah.
I'm a solid 4 days in a row now.
That's huge.
It's definitely been hit and miss. We've been talking about it for months. But it is definitely one of my goals for this year to do it as often as possible.
You don't have to be perfect at it, but the important thing is that maybe you failed to have consecutive days at it, but the important thing is that you're getting back up and continuing to do it. I'm on day 10, so.
Dude, that's awesome.
Yeah, 10 days in, and the first 7 days were hard, guys. I mean, there were days I just wanted to throw my phone at a wall because my alarm went off, and I just want to stay in bed, but I said, nope, I made this commitment to myself. My why is I want to get in shape, and part of getting in shape is establishing new habits and routines. And so one of those new habits, I can get a lot accomplished early in the morning if I just am willing to get up an hour to an hour and a half earlier. And people have asked me this, well, why are you getting up so early? That seems ridiculous. I mean, are you finding any joy in it? Well, initially it was kind of hard and a little bit painful because
It still is.
Yeah, you're stepping outside of your comfort zone.
Let's not lie. It's hard.
It's
5
hard.
5 a.m. comes and, man, my alarm goes off. I want to hit snooze so bad, but I know if I do, it'll be 3, 4, 5 times, and it'll be 6 a.m.
You have less than 10 seconds to make a decision to pull yourself out of bed, because if you don't make a decision within that first 10 seconds, you are doomed to fail and just stay in bed. But with that, what I'm finding is after I make myself get up, that was the hardest part. But once I actually start doing the activity, I start out with a 10-minute meditation. It just puts me in the right mindset. And then from there, it's like all of a sudden I'm like got a little buzz of energy going, and then it just like builds on itself. So by the time I finish my exercise and I'm ready to start my day and have breakfast done and packed up for work, it's before 8 o'clock. And I used to be rolling into the office around 9:30 or 10 sometimes.
What time are we here today?
7:30.
Coffee shop.
Yep.
Ebony and Ivory.
Yep.
What a great place to go and relax and get. It really sets the morning miracle. Waking up at 5, doing my reading, doing my
Yes.
My whole routine. I've got 5 things that I do every morning consistently. Ebony and Ivory. Today's the second day we've done that. I think we're going to do it more.
Yeah.
But it sets getting into the office at a different tone.
It does.
And I love it.
It actually, so I'm rereading parts of Atomic Habits, and one of the things they talk about is if you make something easy. So I actually look forward to going to that coffee shop. So I'm motivated to want to get there earlier because I know that there's like a buzz and a vibe there that just sets the mindset for the day. And now like I'm stoked. I was stoked to get into the studio today. I've got to get fingerprinted for my licensing because we'll talk about our branch here in a second. But yeah, there's a lot of stuff going on, and I'm fired up today. It's going to be awesome.
Some of my other personal goals this year are to get in shape. One of my friends had a Peloton in his garage, and he talked about selling it. And I said, you know what? Let me take it. He goes, done. Did a little trade. He took some of my weights. I don't need those. But I've got a Peloton. I got my shoes, and it's time to ride, people.
Yeah.
Drink water.
Let's ride.
Wake up early, and let's ride.
Not the Denver Broncos. Let's ride. This is all in. Let's ride.
So personally, my goals are to get in shape, continue to read, educate myself, and in education, take action on that stuff. I'm reading a book, Limitless, and it talks about, in the first couple chapters, not only reading the books, because you don't retain a lot if you don't actually take action to do things. And the action they're talking about is only read for 20 to 30 minutes at a time. I set an alarm for 25 minutes, and I use the next 5 minutes to get my little journal out and make notes on what I just read. And then I'll take a break for a while, and I try my goal right now is to read an hour a day. So I read 30 minutes in the morning, 30 minutes at night, and then my audiobooks are separate from that. But personally, that's what I want to do. It's helping me grow in life and in business. And I'll just talk about business goals real quick.
So starting with a podcast show, we talked about this is our 11th episode in a row now. We just got so the platform that we publish our podcast show through, Transistor FM, they give us badges of achievement badges as we go. So we got, this will be 11 episodes. We just got our 10th episode in a row badge, and
yes,
people are listening to us in 2 countries now: the United States and some other country I don't know.
We gotta find out.
I know.
I mean, hope it's somewhere crazy, not Canada or Mexico,
Tanzania or something.
Yes,
yeah, that'd be rad. I mean,
Great Britain.
How cool is that? I mean, we got shout out to whoever. Hey, you know what? Drop us a line. If you're outside of the United States listening to us, put a message in our Facebook or through our YouTube channel. Let us know where you're listening from. We'd love to know and
That'd
find
be
out.
really cool to
That'd
find
be
out.
really cool.
Yeah. Some of my business goals this year are, instead of just being transactional, really to educate people. I think with the affordability factor of homes right now, education's a huge thing. You know, our job is to do loans for people, but our job is to not only just do loans for people, but to educate them on what is right for them. Sometimes the right thing for people
is to wait or to not buy.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And that's where the education piece is. And I love to educate people. I have always thought of myself as sort of a teacher. I could never teach in a classroom per se, but I've always thought, I'm going to throw this out there, I've always thought that like speaking events would be really fun. I'd love to be a speaker someday.
Toastmasters, buddy.
I need to join.
Yeah.
I went to one. It wasn't feeling the vibes of that group. I have to find another group, and they're all over the place.
Yeah. That's a really great tool. Public speaking is arguably one of the biggest fears that people have. And I personally overcame that fear. I went through my first 10 speeches in Toastmasters back in the early 2000s and became a competent communicator, which has really served me well in my business, actually.
You're very good at speaking. Like, I feel it in our podcast. I feel like you're a much better speaker than I am, more fluent.
It's just
you
practice.
say less ums, like I just said.
Like and I used to be and a lot. Those were my crutch words. That's kind of funny. Speaking of podcasts, so getting back to the education piece, that's one of the big foundational whys of why we started this show. We're bridging the gap to homeownership. So educating buyers, it's really helpful for us to have other experts around homeownership and the finances of your home. So financial planners, attorneys, what we talked about in our last episode, actually, and some of the guests we're going to be having. We can help educate people by plugging those people into those experts in that respective field. And that's going to be huge. And that's a big reason why we started this show.
We want to be the go-to for all things.
A resource.
For all things real estate, really. And mindset and goal setting.
Yeah.
And if you're out there and you're struggling to set goals, in the few books that I've already read, I have some really good templates that can help with that. So if you want help, please reach out. I can help you with that.
Yeah, we can drop some templates to you. So our goal for the show is to stay on this streak of recording an episode every week, and our goal is to drop a weekly episode all 52 weeks of this year. And if we do our job, by the end of the year, we'll be at 60 episodes, 60, which is crazy to think about.
2024, 60 episodes.
Yep, 60 episodes in 2024.
I see that happening. Why stop now?
Right.
We're not going to.
No, we're going to keep going. We're going to improve. We're going to probably go from this to teleprompter here pretty quick. That's 1% better, right? That might be 10% better, actually. Because you hear a lot of that kind of noise in the background here. We're going to get better at that.
I do want to talk real quick about something that I wrote down from the book Limitless.
Okay.
And it has to do with goals. And it's an acronym of SMART. It's SMART for goals. So the S stands for be specific.
Yes, that's really important.
Have well-defined goals. M is measurable. If you can't measure it, you can't manage it.
No.
A is actionable. Action steps equal achievement.
Mm-hmm.
R, be realistic with yourself. Challenge and stretch yourself, but not so much that you're going to give up.
Right.
Set attainable goals, but then maybe set another set of goals that are your BHAG. Set goals that you don't think you can achieve. You'll be really surprised that if you look at your goals and they are attainable and you really set your mind to it, you're gonna pass your initial goals and be much closer to your BHAG goals than you may imagine.
Speaking to that point, it kind of reminds me when we first kind of thought about this podcast and got all hopped up on the idea. We kind of talked about maybe doing a couple 2 or 3 shows a week. That's unrealistic, guys, because we are stretching it to get to a show a week with our schedule, how packed it is right now, but we're going to make that commitment. So we did set a realistic goal. We kind of toned it back and made a realistic goal of a weekly show, and we're going to accomplish that.
We are. In fact, we're recording this on a Thursday morning that is going to air tomorrow morning.
Tomorrow morning, yeah.
It's not what we wanted. We wanted 5 or 6 shows in the hopper, but you know what?
We'll get there.
We'll get there.
Yep.
That's a goal of ours. SMART goals. The T is time-based. If you don't have a deadline associated to your goals, you don't have a goal.
That's right.
And don't just set goals for yourself for the year 2024. Set goals for yourself
3, 4, 5 years out.
Yes.
Yeah. Speaking of goals, that brings us to our next one. Talking about it's kind of a 3 to 5 year timeline. Ryan and I, originally when we switched from retail to the wholesale channel and became brokers, we thought, let's be in this business for a couple of years and then talk about owning a branch. Well, that very quickly went from, okay, we've been in this for a few months, let's talk about starting a branch. And so there's a lot that goes into opening a branch because we have to involve all these different professionals to help us get to where we want to go so that we can do things the right way. So we started this back in October, guys, and here we are, second or third week of January, and we're almost there. Everything's been, we've had to deal with a tax attorney, CPA, bookkeeper, our corporate office, business banking. There's just all of this stuff involved, but we want to do it the right way.
We're knocking on the door.
Yeah. We're about to bust the door down too.
Yesterday, two really cool things happened. Our branch was recognized by the NMLS, and we attested to our new branch.
That's huge. That's a big step.
We have our LLC up and running, and we opened a business banking account, so we are legit now.
Yep, we're legit.
To think back a year ago, I mean, I haven't even been in the wholesale channel for a year. It's been 11 months. Thinking back, if you told me 11 months ago that you and I would have our own
that was a Freudian slip.
Home Trust Lending Tacoma branch, I would have said you're crazy. But we set goals that were attainable, and we're here.
Yep. And I mean, you would have said 11 months ago to me, you guys are going to have a podcast show, you're going to have a branch, you're going to have 2 LOs working for you by February 1st, and you're going to have, an office space. I would have been like, huh?
I would have called you crazy.
Yeah. I would have thought you were a nut job. I mean, this is like legit. We're too legit to quit at this point.
Too legit to quit. Hey.
Not only that, but because I took the initiative and had the vision back at the end of 2022 to take an opportunity to get licensed in other states, we will have the ability to lend in 8 states right out of the gate, which is going to be huge.
That's really cool. I'm glad you did that.
Yeah, and that's going to actually springboard us into our bigger vision of what we talked about, our longer term goals, 3 to 5 year goal, maybe even shorter than that, having branches in other states.
One of our loan officers that we have currently, Anthony Iverson, lives in Southern California, and our vision for 2024 is to have our next branch be open in Southern California.
Yep. And then I have a lot of contacts and friends in Austin, Texas. Shout out to Stephen Hill, my financial planner guy. Austin, Texas, I think will probably be third on our list. And there's just a lot of really good people out there, and I'm excited to visit and start building a network out there leading up to that.
We're going to have to travel there.
That's okay.
I'm pretty excited about that.
Yeah, we're excited about that.
Austin is a place for me that is a bucket list place in the United States.
Yeah, same here. It's just going to be really great to visit that. So
before you start, tell me about your personal goals.
My personal goals. So we talked about the Miracle Morning. I am like hell on wheels, going to dominate that every single morning, even through the weekend. So I thought the biggest challenge for me was going to be doing this on a Saturday and Sunday. I did not set an alarm. I said, you know what? If I can master Monday through Friday, I'll feel really great about that. Guess what, guys? 5 a.m. Saturday morning, no alarm. I woke up and I was actually excited that I woke up at 5 a.m. I'm like, this is awesome. Like the habit's starting to work. So that's like kind of a turning point, and from it having to like embracing the suck to transforming that to like really finding like, hey, this is working. And I did the same thing Sunday too. I woke up, I think at 5:15, like within 15 minutes of my goal. And guess what? I got up and did my routine, and I'm just establishing that pattern of behavior, which is going to be huge.
That's really cool. I was excited for you. I woke up. I did not wake up at 5 a.m., but by the time I woke up, I had a text message from Bryon. And I believe Facebook. Did you Facebook Saturday morning?
I think I did, yeah.
And saying that he was super excited to wake up at 5 a.m. and no alarm set.
Yeah.
It's the start of a new era.
Yeah, it is. And health is really a big deal for me. I don't advertise this to a lot of people, but I'm dealing with type 2. Yeah, I'm about to. Type 2 diabetes sucks. Like it absolutely sucks. And I'm having to deal with that. And with that, there's a lot of things I can control. And part of that is my choices in my health. And so one of the biggest whys for me as to why I'm doing this morning routine is my health. I want to get back into shape. I mean, in my mind, I'm 175 pound, 6'3" skinny kid in high school, you know? And I was pretty much all the way that through college. I never like broke 190.
Yeah.
And so I've always identified I'm just this tall, thin guy. But the reality is like the last 15 years, I've been a big guy.
A big guy.
Yeah. Like that was one of my nicknames by one of my former coworkers. Hey, big guy. Shout out to Eric Henning.
I get called big guy all the time, and I also identify in high school. I grew late.
Same here.
Started my senior year. I think I was 5'9", maybe 5'10". When I graduated, I think I hit 6 feet and continued to grow after high school and got to 6'3". But when I graduated high school, I remember I think I was 180 pounds. And looking at my kids now, like Tyler, for example, he's my height already, senior in high school, and he's a solid 205. Like I always thought about the day where I feared wrestling my kids.
That day's come, hasn't it?
Oh, it's come and gone.
Yeah.
Tyler will come home sometimes. He's all amped up, and he's like, Dad, you want to wrestle? I'm like, hell no.
The thing you have to remember, though, you're as good as you once was, but you're not good as once as you ever were. The Toby Keith song, something to that effect.
Something to that.
Yeah.
Something like that.
You're not as good as you once was, but
Once were.
Yeah, once were.
Was? I don't know. I know what you're talking about, though.
Yeah, but you're as good once as you ever were.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But we can make that change. So that was like a big deal for me, is just really getting my health on track, and that's all phases. I mean, Ryan's been turning me on to cooking more on the vegan side, so my wife and I have embraced that. We're just making small changes. So meatless Mondays. So we're just going to start there with dinner. And so I found myself this week embracing that for my breakfast choices as well. And I realized if you just did 1 day a week of cooking vegan and making really healthy choices, that represents 14% of your food intake for the week. That's insane to think about it that way. And if you did 2 days a week, that's 28%. And that amount of change every week, and my doctor even told me this, 2 days a week, if you just worked out for 45 minutes on the treadmill, twice a week before breakfast while you're fasting, and then ate really smart those 2 days, you will lose weight and get off your diabetes medications. That's my goal. By the end of the year, I want to be prescription drug free, and I want to be down and drop weight. And I think for me, the foundational principles of everything we're doing starts with your body and your health and your mindset, the emotional, spiritual side too.
The other side of goals and everything we're talking about is accountability.
Yes.
You and I have been accountable to each other since I started. Well, we have been for a long time, but since I started last February, moving forward with everything that we've already accomplished, all of this has to do with accountability. We're not doing dry January per se, but neither of us have had a drink really in January. And, waking up in the morning, we're accountable to each other. Some days we tell the other person that it didn't work out, and that's okay also.
Dude, I had a rough week. I mean, I felt like I got knuckle punched in my fart box on Wednesday and had a really tough day. Like I literally, I woke up, I did my routine, and I just hit this wall like you wouldn't believe. I had like brain fog, and I wasn't sick or anything. I was just out of it. So I just went back to bed for an hour, and I got in 2 hours later than I told Ryan I'd get in here. But he picked me back up that day. He kicked me in the ass. He told me what I needed to hear. And then yesterday was a really great day. We got a lot of business work done to like really launch our branch. And today, I feel like I'm on fire today. Like we got in super early and we're getting a bunch of stuff done right now. And that accountability for me, thanks, man. That was awesome.
You're welcome. Me waking up in the morning, you're always there. If I know you're going to be awake, and you're there.
Yep.
We send each other motivational speeches.
Yep.
Les Brown this morning.
Les Brown this morning. We're going to play him in the background today. Yeah. Man, I hear that guy want to run through a brick wall.
So on the subject of goal setting, let's talk about some goals that we've set for our office. I know we've talked about a couple, in starting a new branch and getting new loan officers. And let's talk about not volume-wise, how much money we make, anything like that, because it's not really about that. It's about how many people can we help?
That's a really good point. So, Ryan and I internally toss around, in any business, you got to look at the numbers because you have to be able to put together a budget and a plan and all that. And so in the past, what we've been taught to do is, okay, decide how much money you want to make this year, figure out what your average loan amount is, figure out how many closings you have to have a year, and then that's how many and then figure out your application to close ratio. That's how many applications you need to take this year. That's transactional. That's just numbers. That doesn't represent the pillar of who we are. So
we do that on a day-to-day basis. That's our actions that we take to get to the numbers that we're about to talk about.
Yeah, that's more of like the key on a roadmap. But really, when you're getting down to the why and one of the foundational principles of what Ryan and I stand for, which is servant leadership and that servant's heart mindset, that is the foundation of everything we do. If we're helping people get better and putting them in a better spot, so really that helped us refine our goal. And we talked about this. Our goal is to help 500 families with homeownership this year, whether it's a purchase or a refinance. That's our goal, and collectively with our entire branch.
With our entire branch,
yeah.
Yes. So that's not our personal goals. That is our branch goals.
Yep, that's our branch goals. And the nice thing about that is we already have these big visions of what we want to do to help give back to. So by being able to help all these families, what we're going to do is we're going to give back, and we want to leverage our podcast show, take this on the road, plug into these charity events that are near and dear to our heart. Swing for a Soldier comes to mind, helping veterans with PTSD.
Wearing the sweatshirt.
Yeah, you are. We would love to be able to take this podcast. We're not going to sponsor a whole as Home Trust Financial, as a lending company. We're going to sponsor the whole as All In Uncensored, because what we want to do is bring attention and awareness to PTSD and these veterans and the sacrifices they made for our country. And we can get that message out. Not only can we monetarily contribute to that, but our resources too. And then getting people aware and creating content that we can put it out there and put it out into the universe and help.
I am a big golfer. I've always been a big golfer. The last couple of years, I've fallen off a little bit in terms of I kind of got burnt out. I had a goal set for myself 5 or 6 years ago. I really wanted to get down and be a scratch golfer. I'm a pretty good golfer. I've been roughly a 4 handicap, between a 3.5 and 4.5 for probably the last 15 years.
That's amazing.
And I had a goal to get down to a 0, and I worked really hard. I hit balls on the range and on simulators, and had a great coach helping me. I thought I had a good grasp of the golf swing, but he taught me so much. I will say I did not get down to a 0. The lowest I got to, I think, was a 2.5, which doesn't sound a lot lower than a 3.5. But man, I was having fun for a little bit, but honestly, I got burnt out. But it got me into things like the Swing for a Soldier. Swing for a Soldier is it is the coolest golf tournament that I've ever been a part of, and I've never played in it.
Yeah, it's epic, man. Being there with you last year for the event as our newly formed organization, I mean, we just threw something together and had some friends come in and help, and it was great. Shout out to Heather Getz. Thank you, Heather.
Thank you, Heather.
Yeah.
The tournament itself stands for such a great cause.
It does.
If you want to check it out, it's Permission to Start Dreaming Foundation. I think it's permissiontostartdreaming.org. You'll see some videos there of the tournament. We have a skydiver to start the tournament come in, giant flag hanging from his feet. He comes over the crowd and lands on the driving range. The tournament itself is sponsored by a lot of different organizations that truly believe in the PTSD Foundation. And there's hole sponsors. Almost every single hole has people at it that they have little fun games and things like that. And then the end is a fundraising. We have an auction. We have a silent auction. We have a live auction. We have a great dinner. The whole day is amazing. I don't know how many volunteers there are, but people line up in droves to help this event, and it's probably the coolest event that I've ever been a part of.
Dude, see, right there, the audience, you can hear the level of passion Ryan has in talking about this Swing for a Soldier event. And that really reinforces the why of what we're doing. You know, yeah, we're here. Our business is closing loans and helping people in homeownership. But the bigger why behind it is to participate in organizations or participate with organizations like this and give back and really help build
people
up our community.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the biggest thing. You know, whatever success we achieve, we want to leverage that to be able to give back and support our community, and that's what we're doing. And that's a big why, and that's a big goal that we have this year. I work with So I work with a lot of adult family homeowners, and specifically, we have Kenyan immigrants coming to our area, and they get their citizenship. The hardest working people I've ever met in my life. They work 2, 3, or 3 full-time jobs. They're putting in 80 to 120 hours a week right out the gate. They sacrifice. The amount of sacrifice they are willing to do to get to their dreams quicker. They truly embody what the American dream is all about. And so that has really inspired me to get better at my craft and to make more sacrifices to achieve the things I want to accomplish. So case in point, you have a family that comes over. They start working 3 jobs full-time. They get a 2-year history of income. They establish their citizenship or permanent resident alien status. And then from there, they buy their first house. They convert it into an adult family home. Over time, they start bringing in live-in care patients because our boomer generation is aging out and needing this. And they do God's work. I mean, they seriously, the level of care, I've been inside of these homes and there's home-cooked meals, comfy couches, big screen TVs. It's a place I would live, and it felt like such a great place to live at. But then they make these sacrifices, and within 5 years, they're building generational wealth for their families. And this is like, so in speaking to these Kenyan clients that I have, a lot of what they do is they earn a lot of money and send it back to Kenya. So you've got kids over there, like music was my background. I played clarinet. They have no access to musical instruments, and music is huge. So they'll get a musical instrument, but then 10 kids will share one instrument. They take turns taking it home and learning it. So, and then not only that, some of them don't have coats, and some of them, it was just
so many huge causes that
yeah,
everybody can help out with.
Yeah.
If you want some ideas on causes that you can help out with, let us know.
Yeah.
Let's team up.
And so one of the things one of my clients and I are talking about doing is he's going to start a nonprofit here in the United States to buy coats and jackets and things that kids need in school, and we'll send them over there. So I'm looking forward to really getting that off the ground this year. And I've been sponsoring a Kenyan student, this girl from one of my clients. Every year I buy her books and her tuition for her. And that I've never told anybody about that, but I've been doing that now for 2 years. And
that's really cool.
This will be the 3rd year I do it.
I didn't know about that.
Yeah. So I'm helping her out, and that's one person I'm being able to impact. And so we want to really take the blessings we get with what we do and pay it forward to other people. And that's a big why. Talking about goals.
We could go on and on about this.
Yes.
I feel like we're rambling a little bit.
Yeah, I've got to get fingerprinted in 4 minutes.
You're going to be late. The reason why we're rambling, though, is because we're obviously very passionate about all of this. Goal setting, we've seen how it works. We've seen that it helps you on your day-to-day to stay on track and be accountable to each other. Again, if you want to set goals, we're here to help.
Yes, we are. We're absolutely here to help.
We don't need to know your specifics, but we're here to help you with an outline.
Yep.
Be specific, measurable, accountable, realistic, and time-based.
That's right.
There's your outline.
That's your outline right there. And so our final thoughts are, really, if you want to, everybody has a dream inside of them. If you want to focus on your dream, you really got to figure out what your why is. And that might just take some journaling. Ryan and I are both journaling and really honing in on our why and peeling back the layers of the onion to figure that. And that emotional anchor point is really going to help you create the vision of what you want. And then that's going to help you set the goals, the SMART goals. And then behind that, you take action. You start doing your day-to-day routine of what you need to do, time block it in your calendar. And then from there, the sky's the limit for you.
You need somebody to help you be accountable?
Yep.
We're here.
Your tribe around you. We want to be part of your tribe.
I'll send you a text message every day and ask you if you've done the things that you ask me to keep you accountable to.
And ask them why.
Why?
Yep.
Why do we do this, Bryon?
Exactly.
Don't go there.
Yeah. Well, that's another episode.
That is another episode.
We already explained it.
We just want to say thank you to everybody who's still listening today, who has listened to any of our shows up until now. If you have anything that you want us to talk about or anybody that you want us to have in a subject, please let us know.
Yeah, drop us a line. We'd love to hear and get your comments and feedback. And follow us on YouTube, Facebook, go into allinuncensored.com. We've got all the platforms we're part of there. And guess what it is today?
It's another great day.
We'll catch you on the next episode, guys.
Peace out.